There were a lot of people at the airport when this happened, as well as on the highway, seeing the smoke as soon as this crash happened. And our Jose Alonso has been out at the airport. He's actually talking with someone who was inside the airport when this happened. Jose, what can you tell us?
Connie, what I could tell you is that she was actually in the airplane on the tarmac before having to go back into the airport to pick up her bag and then have her dad drive all the way from Mount Washington, come back here and pick her up specifically. And I wanted to show you, her name was Brooklyn Montague. She didn't want to go specifically on camera, but she was willing to talk to me about being on that airplane and on that tarmac for about 2 hours before she ended up seeing this. And she shared this video with me, seeing this happen, this plume of smoke pop up at her window. She can actually see those first responders moving back and forth, and that's exactly what she was seeing, the very beginning of that plume of smoke. She also shared this picture with me as well. But we're here at the arrival section of the Louisville Muhammad Ali International Airport, where we are seeing others just like her that were on those airplanes come out and catch a ride either with rideshare or with family. But take a listen to what she had to say. Brooklyn, are you a Louisville resident?
I lived here for about 20 years and I live in Florida now.
Gotcha. Can you kind of tell me, what are you doing here at the airport right now? What's been going on with you?
I was trying to go back home to get back to work down in Orlando, Florida.
This day, did you anticipate anything like what you were seeing right now, getting the updates and everything, ever happening here at the Louisville airport?
No, everything was going great. I was the next plane to be taking off from the airport whenever the situation started happening. We kind of waited on the runway for a few minutes, and out of my window I saw a plume of smoke from what we now know of the UPS plane in front of us taking off.
Yeah, like you said, you're on the tarmac on your own plane ready to go, but then you see this plume of smoke. What's going through your head as you're looking out the window and seeing that?
I think we all were pretty confused in the moment, saying that we didn't know much at the time. We kind of just sat for a minute, and even when the pilots got on, they seemed to not have a lot of information for us either. Nothing was really known until maybe I'd say 30 minutes into it, when the news channels started rolling and the pilots kind of got back on as well, telling us what was happening around us.
Of course, this is a tragedy, but I'm used to flying out of here. Easy, no problems and stuff. Do you have any concerns of any future flights out of here?
No, I hope everyone involved is okay, and that Louisville can hopefully turn this around pretty fast, the airport.
You did tell me already, I'm going to ask again in a different way. Approximately how long did it take for you to, from the tarmac, seeing that plume of smoke, to getting your bag and now waiting for your dad to pick you up?
It's been about, from now, we were supposed to take off around 7:15. Or 6:15, excuse me. No, 5:15. I don't know anymore. So about 2 hours, 2.5 hours total for everything.
Gotcha. And just in general, how are you feeling?
A little worried, a little scared, but again, I just hope everyone involved is okay. And all my family was reaching out, so it's kind of an anxiety overload. But I'm glad to be getting out of here and going home.
Thank you so much for talking with us. I hope things get situated and hopefully you can make it home tomorrow.
Yeah.
I appreciate you taking the time to speak with us. Brooklyn, are you a Louisville resident?
I lived here for about 20 years and I live in Florida now.
Again, that was Brooklyn Montague, a longtime resident here around the Louisville, Kentucky area, now living in Florida, just trying to catch that flight, a Southwest flight, before that crash happened. Again, I showed you what was going on, what she saw from her airplane window, being on that tarmac for several hours before coming back into the airport to grab her luggage. And we actually did see her get picked up here just a few minutes ago by her father, so she's on her way out. But she did say that 65 was closed in some certain sections. So her dad was struggling to get around too, but ultimately he was able to get down here. And there's others just like her waiting with their bags out, waiting for those ride shares to come out here and help them out. You can actually see this family here on the very left packing it up at this moment. So we're going to stick around here and continue to talk to these individuals to see what experiences they endured while also going through this crazy news that we've been covering all day today. But until then, Doug, Connie, sending it back to you.
Jose, her family must have been super worried about her, especially since her plane was scheduled to take off right at the time that this crash happened.
That your video her video showing you right in line, in line. And so talk more about her and what, those images she's able to show you there. Jose, can you, I mean, so many people are impacted this. We're getting ready to be 4 hours into this coverage coming up at 9:15 since the crash. We keep learning more and more stories about how this has expanded throughout the community.
Exactly. I mean, I'll just show it to you right here again since we have some time. Play this right here again. This is what Miss Montague was seeing outside of her window, those first responders, and then there it is, that large plume of smoke right there, right in front of her eyes and everything. And she says, you know, it's been frustrating, but at the same time, she was very understanding of this situation. Her mind and her thoughts are with all those families that are impacted just south here of that airport. And I'm sure everyone has that same mindset here. Again, we're here at the arrival section of SDF, where we're seeing these families get out of their airplane, get their luggage and back into vehicles to go to where they need to go. But it's still an eerie feeling here. I mean, I'm so used, I've flown out of here before. I'm used to seeing this busy and not really hearing the music that's playing right here in the background right now, but now we can clearly hear it. There's not much traffic going on, so this airport is currently shut down at this moment as they're still assessing everything. And I'm sure they'll give us updates, and our team's going to be live there as well. Doug, Connie?
Jose, thank you. And this is, again, still a developing story. Nearly by minute, we're getting updates. This is an improving situation, at least for the air. Connie, Louisville Metro Emergency Management saying that the shelter in place has now been reduced to a 1-mile radius of the airport.
That's good news.
Again, this had stretched all the way to the Ohio River and into southern Indiana. They were telling people just a moment ago during that news conference in southern Indiana to be on alert there. But now things are improving as far as the plume of the smoke.
Yeah, and by the way, Fire Chief O'Neill was asked during the presser if he knew of anyone who was trapped. He did not, but he did talk about the search tonight. We want to listen into that if we can.
So we do not know of anybody that are trapped, but the units on scene, you know, as I said, we're trying to surround and contain that. As we move in, we are searching every building, every area, and like Director Myman mentioned, all the buildings that are outside of that immediate hazard zone are being searched as well to make sure that those are clear and safe.
Okay, I want to also bring this out to us. Okay. The Jefferson County Public Schools have just emailed WHAS. Schools are closed tomorrow, and this is due to the necessary shelter-in-place ordered by the city following the tragic plane crash. JCPS going on to say that all schools will be closed tomorrow, Wednesday, November 5th. They will operate like a snow day with no online instruction. This closure includes all extracurricular activities and athletics. And JCPS will check the air and water quality at all of our schools near the crash site. That from JCPS.
Right,
schools
no
called
school
off tomorrow.
Again for JCPS.
The growing scope of this tragedy here in Louisville tonight. Yeah,
you're taking a look where we will hear from the mayor and other officials from the Louisville International Airport, Muhammad Ali. At 9 o'clock, we are expecting to have a press conference. That's going to happen then, and we'll get more detailed information. Many crews headed over there as that's getting ready to happen in just about 6 minutes, Doug.
And we are going to be taking you through some of the earlier recorded comments here coming up throughout our coverage as we wait for the 9 o'clock news conference. But I do want to go back to as well, Connie, some of the comments from the former NTSB investigator that we had here on live, who has of course covered so many tragedies. He making some news as he was talking to us, saying that he had been told that many parts of that engine were still on the runway, which you know, we've been showing you the video of the crash as it was happening, with the left side of the engine was on fire. And we also had an aviation legal expert tell us that it looked to him, as he studied the video over and over, a major fire on the left side of the jet. It doesn't appear that the jet even got off the ground 175 to 200 feet. So some of the early clues that the investigators are seeing as they watch that video.
Right, and again, just going back to some of the comments that the governor made, if folks are just joining us, he did tell us that there were 3 fatalities, but he does believe that number will be larger. Multiple people are injured. He said 11, he expects that to be more, and 2 people are unaccounted for. That's believed to be the folks at the buildings that were hit. Kentucky Petroleum Recycling was hit, and Grade A Auto Parts. All were accounted for, all employees were accounted for, except for 2 employees, Doug. Also for families that are trying to get information, there is a family reunification area also where they can get answers if they're waiting on word about their loved ones. That's at 2911 Taylor Boulevard. That's where the families can go. And UPS has also set up a family hotline.
That's right, and the number is on your screen. Take a look at the lower part of your screen, 1-800-631-0604, a unification hotline. More about what is being set up in South Louisville. It is at the LMPD training facility.
Right.
That's at Taylor Boulevard and the Waterson Expressway. At that facility right now, the American Red Cross providing support and resources for families. The LMPD Victim Services Unit, which is assisting with information and guidance there. And they do have chaplains on site in South Louisville offering emotional and spiritual support, which of course is such a difficult time as we move along here. And we just got word that UPS has also stopped all its operations at the airport, which is to be expected.
At Worldport, right. And we talked about the governor's press conference a few minutes ago. He talked about what he knew at this time about the crash. I want to hear a little bit of that right now.
We've got some initial numbers, but let me tell you, I expect them to grow. Right now, we believe we have at least 3 fatalities. So I believe that number is going to get larger. We have at least 11 injuries, some of them very significant, that are being treated by local hospitals. Again, I think that number will get larger.
Governor Andy Beshear there at the news conference at 7:30 tonight. Again, the next news conference coming up live, expected to be attended by Louisville Mayor Craig Greenberg, who was with us on live. He was out of town. He is now back in. I think we should also emphasize, Connie, some of what Morgan McGarvey just told us. We don't know really what happened. We've seen the incredible video, the shocking video that has been on your screens, but we don't really know the details. He has been in touch with federal authorities. Of course, being a congressman, he says the NTSB is sending a full team of experts here to investigate. The police chief, Paul Humphrey, said they expect this whole area to be closed for this investigation for a couple of days. The former NTSB investigator said he has seen crashes this big with this kind of scope where they've been on the scene at least for 30 days or more.
And he asked people, don't speculate.
We've got some initial numbers, but let me tell you, I expect them to grow.
All right, and that is, again, what we heard from the governor just a minute ago. Again, going back to the congressman talking about a full team from the NTSB will be here. A full team is wheels to wings, as he said it, training 2 pilots, sending in resources, and so we can find out what happened. Again, asking people not to speculate. He said this is really difficult for so many folks. This is his hometown, and everyone is affected by this. The governor asking all of us to pray for the families that are still waiting on word.